What makes absolutely no sense to you at all?
Those Facebook photos that promise you a lot of money if you post them. Is it true that people believe it? How, in what environment, under what conditions, could that possibly work? Is this some sort of inside joke that I'm not aware of? Right, amen.
Amen.
How people came up with baking. I get eating meats and veggies and fruits. That's just food that's pretty much ready to go. But somehow someone figured you can grind this plant into a powder, add a certain amount of water and some chicken eggs and some oil and some other crushed plant stuff and then heat it for X minutes and now you have cake or bread or cookies or whatever.
Imagine all the failed experiments on the road to flaky, buttery croissants.
Seems like half of the true crime shows I watch involve life insurance. What I don't understand is how the perpetrators convince themselves that being the beneficiary on a brand new life insurance policy and then having the insured turn up dead within days or weeks is not going to put you under a detective's microscope. Even more suspicious are the ones who immediately make the claim for payout within a day of the death. At least sit on it for a month or two and act like you're grieving.
I watched a true crime show once and the cop there said that most criminal cases involve very dumb people. It's not some grand battle of wits, it's averagely smart cops vs almost mentally challenged criminals. Smart ones don't get caught. Damn, this blew up, ha 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 ha.
House price rises. How seriously can people have so much money for crappy houses? Where are all these great paying jobs that service the mortgage? My partner and I have decent middle-class jobs, teacher, nurse, yet cannot afford to buy in the city where we live. And not even close to the city where we live. How can a pandemic wreck an economy, throw thousands out of work needing to rely on government handouts? Yet house prices increase?
My first language was Spanish, which I learned at home. I learned English at school and with friends outside of school. In addition, German is spoken. Surprisingly, when I speak in my brain, it's always in English. When I pronounce them out loud though, they come out in the correct language.
I've always wondered, holy poo. My grandmother was deaf, mute and only spoke ASL. I asked her once what language she thought in, ASL or English, and she didn't understand what I meant, so I never got an answer.
How the moon is in perfect rotation with the Earth to the point where we only see one side of the moon at all times no matter what.
Also how the moon appears exactly the same size as the sun in the sky. Google tells me, greater than the moon and sun have virtually the same angular size in our sky because the sun is about 400 times wider than the moon, but it's also about 400 times farther away. This allows us to see spectacular coronal displays and prominences during total solar eclipse. What is the root of consciousness and why is there something instead of nothing?
Gonna offer answers from 2 books I've read and probably misinterpreted. 1. We're not as conscious as we think we are. We mostly don't know what's going on in our brains. The root of consciousness is just specific parts of the brain which let us be aware of ourselves and mediate between our various, often conflicting, impulses and beliefs, which themselves come from within the brain. Incognito, David Eagleman. 2. Any attempt to solve this question can only take place in a universe where there underscore is something underscore, the anthropic principle. That's why there is something. There may well have been many nothings that lasted eternities. But we'll never hear of those. A Brief History of Time, Stephen Hawking.
How babies just go from swimming, breathing in a pouch of goo to being born and able to breathe normal air. It makes no sense to me. How does something go from not breathing air to breathing air in like a second?
Babies don't get it either, that's why they cry in confusion.
Space. Look at the moon. Some days you can see Saturn or Jupiter out there. Look at the stars. You think about us, people on this rock in space all running around. We're floating in space on a rock. Spinning around, all together, one. And space is just so big. It's overwhelming, really really big. I can't even comprehend how big. It doesn't even make sense how big it is.
The Earth rotates on an axis. The Earth orbits the Sun. The solar system is orbiting the center of the galaxy. The galaxy is moving away from some starting point in the universe. The universe is expanding. Comprehending all that motion simultaneously blows my mind.
Grown-ass adults not taking responsibility for their actions, property and expecting others to clean up after them.
If you don't have money, you are charged fees.
I once had a line of credit. The bank sent me a statement each month. The statement cost me a $1 fee that I could not cancel. Trust me, I tried. My statement read, service fee, $1 statement. They charged me $1 each month to tell me that they were charging me $1.
Photographs. I push a button and a moment in time is saved forever. WTF.
If a pizza costs $9 and I order 2 of them, where the hell does my pizza joint get $39.86 from?
From experience, you have to order a very specific way. I work as a manager at Pizza Hut, and 2 people ordering the exact same thing can have a difference of plus minus $25 depending on how they order due to specialties that are actually always available. It's insane.
DK is a shorter way to say Richard. Like when the F does Richard turn into DK. If you're going to have a shorter way to say Richard, just say Rich, because that makes sense, unlike DK. Sorry for anyone named DK out there, but your name makes no effing sense.
Rhyming nicknames were a thing in medieval English. Richard becomes Rick becomes DK. Same with William to Will to Bill and Robert to Rob to Bob. Most of the strange English nicknames are because of this.
Why people are so offended by swear words that they gasp and change channels when they hear someone say, "Damn, my mom does this. She's explained it to me multiple times and I still don't get it."
Alternatively, how some words were decided to be swear words, despite having otherwise normal meanings. I mean, I can say poop and that's okay, but poo is just too far?
How Bluetooth works.
I always picture radio waves like Bluetooth or Wi-Fi as simply another realm of light, which it basically is. The sender, like your Wi-Fi router, is like a light bulb that blinks very fast and in different colors. Your receiver, like your phone, can see the light bulb flashing and receives the information via the on-off intervals, ones and zeros, binary. In this realm, everything looks like it's transparent, but depending on the material, it has a more or less tint. A wooden door or your pants would be only slightly tinted, a brick wall much more. So if you stand behind 2 brick walls, the flashing light of your sending device is much harder to see for your phone, as if you would stand right next to it.
That I can't get a job without experience. Like, how am I going to get the experience if not at a job?
Corporate jobs are a game you play. The rules don't make sense. You were a cashier at a store? No. Instead you say you worked in customer support in a customer-facing role where you consistently met your weekly goals and targets by creating user-centric experiences by cultivating all resources available to you at the time. LOL, or something like that.
How did Wismer and Kronk get back first?
By all accounts it doesn't make sense. Why do I have to file my taxes? You already know what I either owe or am getting back. Just either bill me or pay me.
This right here. I've even gotten IRS letters telling me I calculated wrong. Okay, well then why ask me to even do it?
Planes. It still amazes me how something that massive can fly.
Same thing for me with ships, like how does several hundred tons of steel float on the water?
Punishing the kid who fought the bully.
Punishing the whole group for one person's actions. There goes that kid's social life. How your body knows when to stop growing your eyebrows, arm hair, leg hair, pubes, etc., but your facial hair and the hair on your head grows endlessly.
I don't know how old you are, but this will eventually change.
Why does gold have inherent value to humans?
Gold was the perfect medium for currency. It was easy to shape and stamp into coins. It didn't rust or react. And, most importantly, it was relatively rare, so a governing entity could at least make a token effort at stabilizing the currency, depending on what era of economics we're talking about, of course. While any medium could be used for currency, especially other types of metals, gold hit all of the sweet spots, which is why, for the most part, gold was the universal choice when it was available. And it both looked pretty and had some halfway easy practical uses, so it wasn't just currency for currency's sake, it had inherent value. Since then, we've developed a lot of non-currency reasons to value gold, and while it's no longer the sole way to manage currency, it's still pretty and it's still useful. And if, as survivalists believe, the government goes tits up, no one's going to want any paper currency, but eagle-stamped gold coins will have a verifiable and easily tested value. Even though the chance of it happening is next to zero, the mere fact that it could grants it extra value.
You can break a bone and it will heal on its own. But if you develop a little cavity, you must get it filled.
Teeth aren't made out of the same cells as bones, therefore can't heal like bones do.
How the internet works.
The internet is really just your computer asking for documents from other computers. When you go to reddit.com, your computer goes to the internet equivalent of a phone book called DNS and looks up reddit.com and gets back an IP address like 12.34.56.78. Your computer then uses that IP address to talk to the Reddit server and ask for the content for the web page. It gets back a text file from the Reddit servers that tell your internet browser how to draw the site correctly on your computer.
When I wear sunglasses anywhere while it's cold outside, some cashier or receptionist will say something to me like, "Oh, look at you, longing for warmer weather," or remind me that there's snow on the ground, or ask me why I'm wearing sunglasses when it's so cold outside. Guys, it's a beautiful day. They aren't referred to as hot weather spectacles.
Is snow not common in your area or something? Everyone is wearing sunglasses in my area during the winter because even on cloudy days, the light is reflecting up off the snow.
Effing magnets.
Why everyone calls those kids in those "I told my kid I ate their Halloween candy" videos bratty if they get pissed. The kid has every right to be upset. All you're teaching your child is that they're not supposed to be upset if someone takes something they value and that they've put time and effort into procuring. I've always hated those videos.
I hate that we expect kids to tolerate certain behaviors that we as adults would fight someone on sight for. Bitcoin.
People thinking the Earth is flat.
Balancing equations in chemistry. I tried for weeks to understand the concept, but I still can't understand moles and Avogadro's number to save my life. Edit. I'm 32 with a career that doesn't require balancing chemical equations. I appreciate the offers to help learn though.
Avocado's number is the number of avocados a mole can eat in an hour.
How people can just go up to complete strangers and start a conversation. It comes as naturally to them as breathing. Edit. Well, that was a lot of notifications to wake up to. And thank you for the awards, first one I've ever received, Purple Heart. Second edit, a big thank you to everyone giving us socially anxious, neurodivergent and introverted folk some very helpful advice. We'll definitely give some of these a go next time.
Goat eyes. As a high school teacher, I just forced my students to write a point, evidence, justification paragraph proving that goats are aliens.
Thank you for watching. We upload new videos every day. So be sure to come back for more fun. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video.